everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Cooking with Chef Aaron. This time, we are going to be setting foot in Central America as we explore the country of Nicaragua. Now, this country was kindly requested to me by none other than Melissa Franco Escudero. Melissa, if you are watching this video, I'd like to give a big shout out to you. And as always, I hope to receive more requests from other people sometime in the future. So anyway, let's get into it. What do I think of Nicaragua? Well, first off, let me just say that I am really happy that someone requested this country for me, because there is one particular aspect of Nicaragua's capital city, Managua, which I'm going to get to in a minute, that is really cool and entertains me a lot. I find it to be really captivating. So, first of all, I'm going to start off this review by talking about the largest and capital city called Managua. And in terms of its architecture, it's not really that out there. I mean, it does look nice, but it's not really too intriguing because, as you can see, there's like a lot of like buildings that are kind of just generic, have like a very generic design to them. They're sort of colorful, but they're not really that out there. They're not really that futuristic. They're not really that unique. They're not really anything different. And as you can see here that there's a cathedral right here, and the cathedral is kind of basic in colors. Not a lot going on here. It's kind of just your typical like white or gray sort of like cathedral. Not a lot in terms of its colors. Not a lot that's unique in terms of its design. But there is one part of Managua that I really do like, and it's the fact that the city is pretty much bombarded with what's known as the trees of life. And in case you're wondering what these are, they're basically like metallic trees that are all over the city, and they're all sorts of rainbow colors. I'm going to show you pictures of them right here. Don't they look like they're quite something? They're quite unique, they're quite cool, they're all over the place here. They have a really cool, abstract, unique design. And they especially look really nice when they're lit up at night. As you can see, the rainbow colors, it really gives life to the city. Even though Managua is kind of just a generic city, the trees of life really do add some sort of like happy atmosphere to them. They add like some really cool vibes to them. I really like them a lot. And now I'm going to shift my attention over to the second largest city of Nicaragua, which is called León. And this city, I will say, is not really that intriguing because it's basically just your basic architecture, nothing too out of the ordinary, like nothing really that unique, but still nice the way it is. As you can see here, there's a nice place of worship here, and it's very cool in design with how it looks. But still nothing that I would consider to be that intriguing in terms of like travel destinations. The last city that I'm going to talk about is the third largest city called Tipitapa. And this city is kind of your generic city, nothing too crazy, nothing too captivating going on here. It just has like your basic designs, like basic building designs, nothing too interesting. The buildings are kind of a little bit colorful, but nothing too unique in its own way. And to wrap up this review, I'm going to talk about the rural parts of Nicaragua now. And as you can see here, I did say a lot of what I'm saying in my Costa Rica episode. If you remember my Costa Rica episode, other episodes that explore like this particular region of Central America, I did say that Nicaragua is kind of like a toss-up between Mexico and Brazil in terms of its rural areas, because on one hand it does kind of look sandy, it kind of looks very like nice in terms of a design. I really like the sandy feel that Nicaragua has, but at the same time it's also transitioning into Brazil in the sense that it's all wet and muddy as well. So it's sort of like in the middle, like it's in between Mexico and Brazil, like in terms of its geography. And it's sort of like a mixed bag between both. It's very like sandy in design, but on another hand it's very wet and muddy. So it's just sort of in the middle, it's okay. But overall, I think I would probably have to give the country of Nicaragua a B-. Okay, so now, with my review out of the way, we are going to step foot into my kitchen, and I'm going to teach you how to make a creamy jalapeno chicken, and won't this be fun? So anyway, follow me please, and we'll begin. Okay, so in order to make the Nicaraguan creamy jalapeno chicken, the ingredients you will need are as follows. We have over here, we have 3 chicken breasts, which have been cut to 1-inch pieces. And in this container, we've got 2 cups of sliced mushrooms. And in this container, I have 4 jalapenos chopped and seeded and cut up into rings. And in this container, I have some more jalapenos that we're going to use as a garnish near the end of this demonstration. And in these 2 large ramekin cups, I got 1 onion that is nicely chopped. It was a large onion, so I had to use 2 ramekins. And in this measuring cup over here, I have 1.5 cups of heavy cream. And in this bowl right here, I've got 1.5 cups of chicken broth. And over here in this bowl, I have half a cup of milk. And in these 6 little ramekin cups respectively, I've got 1 cube of mushroom bouillon. I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil right here. And I have another tablespoon of olive oil right here. And I've got 3 teaspoons of garlic, 2 tablespoons of rosemary, and 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And we are going to get started right now. Okay, so the first step in our recipe is we're going to take our heavy cream and we're going to pour it into this bowl as such. And with that added, we are also going to add our milk. And we're going to add the flour, and using our whisk, we're going to whisk it in. And we want this to have a nice consistency. Make sure it's all incorporated well into the milk and the cream, the flour that is, the all-purpose flour. And I think once we've given this a good stir and all the flour is dissolved, we can move on to our next step, and I'll see you then. Okay, and the next step in our recipe is we're going to take 1 of our tablespoons of olive oil, and we're going to add it to the pan, like the pot as such. And we are just going to make sure this gets all around the pot, the bottom of the pot. It's evenly distributed around the bottom of the pot. Okay, and now we will turn on our heat. And we will add the chicken. Put it all to the pot. Okay, and we just gotta let this all brown on both sides, and I'll see you then. Okay, so now that your chicken has turned somewhat of a brown color, it's all white all around and it has a little bit of browning, the next thing you want to do is you're going to take your chicken broth and you're going to add it all to the chicken. Okay, and then you're just going to lower your heat to a simmer. And you just got to let this sit for 15 minutes, and I'll see you all then. Okay, so now that we're waiting on our chicken to simmer, we're ready to move on to the next step. And the next step is we're going to take our other tablespoon of olive oil. We're just going to add it all to the pan as such. We're going to spread this all around. And we're going to turn on our heat for this burner, respectively. Okay, and once that's on, we can add our jalapeno peppers as such. And we'll also add our onions, I should say. And I've also got my mushrooms. And here's our garlic. Okay, and I'm just going to blend this all in. Okay, and we just want this to cook for a little while. We want these to saute. And once the jalapenos and the onions have a little bit of browning on them, we'll move on to our next step, and I'll see you all then. Okay, so now that our veggies have a little bit of browning on them, next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our rosemary. And I'm just going to give this a good mix. And we let this sit for 2 more minutes. I'll see you all then. Okay, so now the next thing we'll do is we'll take our cream mixture and add it all to the veggies, like this. Make sure it's all incorporated nicely. Alright, and I'll see you all in the next step. Okay, and our chicken is now nicely cooked, so what we can do now is we can add all this to our veggie mixture. Hopefully this doesn't overflow it. Okay, and we're still doing well. We're just going to blend this all in. And last but not least, we will take our mushroom bouillon and we'll blend it all in as well. And once this is ready, I will serve this on my plate along with some rice as a side dish, and I'll let you know what I think of it. And I look forward to tasting this wonderful masterpiece. Okay, and now it's time for a taste test. Let's see what I think of this. Let me just get a manageable bite here. Okay, I've got my rice, jalapeno chicken. I'll give this a taste now. This is phenomenal. Tastes very creamy. The veggies go well with the chicken. It's nicely cooked. It's really good. Alright, and this is my finished product served on my plate, served alongside a glass of milk. And I've served it with some rice, bed of rice is below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next episode. Take care. Bye.